Alright, good morning. Welcome to our BowmanWebServices.com video. Today's video is about a GPT that I built. And so I don't know how good it is. It's hard to sometimes get these things to get in front of the right people. And so if you're a veteran and you're having a hard time navigating the VA, I want to actually, that's going to be a focus of my channel, is really, I'm a caretaker of a Navy vet that, he's a brown water vet. He was a radio operator. And I grew up with him dit-dotting, doing that Morse code thing all the time. I'm sure he was cussing his kids out. But, the man was down there from 1960 to 1970 in the U.S. Navy. He was a radio man. He actually chased that nuclear-armed Russian submarine out of Cuba waters. And then he was over in Vietnam, and I guess he drank the water, and now he's really messed up. He is a 100% disabled vet, and really he's like a 280% disabled vet. He's got everything from diabetes to prostate cancer, to where it's spread to his bones or to his leg, and ultimately he's in bad shape, and he's still walking around and stuff. But ultimately the VA has totally failed him, and I mean, not totally. I mean, they definitely have rated him, and they've made his life a little easier with some money. But at the end of the day, they straight up, just getting simple things done, like having handbars put up and ramps put in and things to prepare for him actually being really sick, has been a total failure for my family. And honestly, as his caretaker, I'm just about full time in this guy's life. If it wasn't for me being in his life, he would have absolutely nobody. And honestly, just trying to log into the VA is an absolute nightmare. And so, I hope you'll take a second and give me some feedback. All right, hop over to ChatGPT. You can use this thing for free. I'm gonna post the link here. Honestly, I built this thing and I want to know how to make it better. And I'm sure the VA has something, but honestly, the VA is such a pain in my ass these days. I'm very disappointed with them. We have literally, I kid you not, just last week I spent almost 20 hours over the local VA, talking to the VSO, the Veteran Service Officers, the DAV, who I totally am disgusted with. I'll tell you, the DAV, the Disabled American Vets Association, has totally failed us. They took our power of attorney, in order to talk to them and to have them review our file, which they never did. Honestly, they went and had us fill out a bunch of paperwork, send it in, wait 5 or 8 weeks, to follow up with them. And then ultimately, when I got the guy on the phone, he was just rude to me. He's like, well, you're already 100% disabled. And he was just rude, and he actually hung up on me. And so I filed a complaint, and I actually got to talk to somebody high up in the company. And I'd say, I was shocked. That guy gave me some suggestions, kind of got me to calm down, because I was quite upset. And ultimately, they never said anything to me about turning off that, power of attorney. So literally, they were interfering with us getting different things. I guess our paperwork, or whenever we filed something, it was going to them, and it was going into cyberspace. No, and the guy over at DAV, in Daytona Beach, told me that that's just not true. It doesn't happen that way. But, yeah, no, something funny was happening here for the last 9 months. Because honestly, when I finally got into the VA.gov, and half of the things that we filed like 7 different things, and we got them to actually put bars in the shower. 3 bars. The guy was here for like 15 minutes. He didn't even hit beams. He just threw in some toggles, which I could have done myself, and he gave us maybe $150 worth of bars. And I'm sure they charged an arm and a leg for it. But ultimately, I'll tell you, just highly unhappy with it. Honestly, my father is getting ready to need a handicap vehicle type stuff, and we tried applying for it like almost 11 months ago, and we're back and forth. They actually, we finally got the denial letter because it was actually on the VA.gov, and we had a hard time just navigating and figure out where the answers are coming from and going to. Is just retarded. You guys got to do such a better job. Honestly, these guys, are not web savvy, and I run a marketing company, so I'm not, apparently not that web savvy. No, that's not true. I'm very slick at what I do, and honestly, it is not a good system. It is not consumer friendly. It's not veteran friendly. And honestly, please take a minute and hang around here, because I really got a couple things to share. I'm in this thing for the fight, and ultimately, I want, veterans to get what they're owed, especially since these days, we're taking care of people that have, invaded our country and crossed our border illegally better than we are the veterans. And here in Daytona Beach, there's veterans that, just about everybody that's on the corner begging for change claims they're a veteran. I don't know if it's true or false, but they're definitely not doing a very good job taking care of these guys, and I'm totally offended. And knowing that what I've personally gone through, I can see exactly, like, it's extremely defeating trying to like get anything done with the VA. I can tell you, my father just went through a dental thing where they put him into community care. They pulled his teeth, right? They pulled all his upper teeth, and that one dentist sent him to an extraction thing. So it's a whole hustle. And I'll tell you, hustle is, I ended up filing complaints against the dentist, and I actually got to meet the head dentist. Lifetime Dentistry here in Port Orange. They showed me a stack. I mean, a stack of papers that was a ream and a half thick. That's 750 veterans that are literally in the community care dental loop of hell. And honestly, just absolutely shameful. They left my father without teeth and with just a temporary denture for almost 2 years. He lost like 30 something pounds worth of weight because he's literally eating baby food. What a bunch of idiots, honestly. They sent him off to uh, some place, some malefactual surgery place. Who, when he got there, the guy was like, "You don't want to pull all your teeth." He actually told him to keep the bottom ones and not touch those because he was going to totally not be able to eat at all. And so he got such bad information. And honestly, the new VA here in Daytona Beach, the dentist there actually told him he was going to be getting implants, and then ultimately sent him off to get all his teeth yanked. And then ultimately, when we got back and we actually asked him about these implants, he's like, "Oh, no, that was misinformation," is what he told us. He says like less than 3% of the people actually get these implants. And I'm like, well, why the hell did you guys go and have him pull all his teeth? And ultimately, they actually had him do treatments to his gums, to his actual bone structure. They had him give shots and everything. Why would you go through all that if you weren't actually going to follow through and actually give this man his permanent teeth? And honestly, I swear the VA is trying to kill off these veterans. Honestly, my father was found to be stage 3 prostate cancer. They cut off his PSA test, right? The PSA test that actually can help maybe save his life and find the cancer early. They cut it off, and his doctor at the VA actually doubled his prostate medication without doing any kind of testing, without doing anything. And honestly, this is a VA doctor who actually probably knows that within a certain age, these guys are going to get sick and get really sick. And so I really think that the VA is trying to kill off these veterans. They're trying to give them as little as they possibly can, and literally, make them wait until they're absolutely just about deathly sick, and then dump it all off on their families. And so, if you're somebody out there that has come into this type of situation, I hope you'll hang around here, like me, become a friend or whatever this thing here is on YouTube. And actually, I'm making this specifically for X, right? Twitter. And so, yeah, listen, we got to do something better here. These guys are in bad shape. I'm going to show you like how disabled my father is. He's still walking around, but I'll tell you what, he has so many things going on with him. And honestly, it's not just Agent Orange, right? As a radio man, he was exposed to massive radiation. They were sending signals out to submarines in the Atlantic Ocean, and he claims that he could take a light bulb. They had a tube light bulb, it was like 2 foot or 3 foot long, and he'd walk around this core, and if something was burnt out, it wouldn't light up, and if it was working properly, the light bulb would glow when he got close enough to it, right? And so that stuff was actually going through his body all the time. And ultimately, he said he received all kinds of burns, superficial burns all over his arms and stuff from this radiation. And then on top of that, he said, they cleaned the parts of this radio equipment in some kind of chemical. And I'm going to post about that because it was some long ass name, and I'm sure it is not good. So it's not just Agent Orange. It's like in the military, these guys are exposed to stuff that, really you would not run into in everyday life. And so I want to start a conversation about this. Something's got to happen here because this is not right, and the way that he's been treated and the way our family has had to pick up that slack and been treated is absolutely retarded. And I can't possibly file more paperwork because really, we've done our part. We've done our part filing paperwork that just goes nowhere. And again, back to that community care thing. a ream and a half worth of veterans-based papers, and the lady was just like, it's the VA. The VA just doesn't approve stuff. Well, why are you guys playing that game? I mean, they're just bleeding the VA for business is what they're doing. And honestly, they're the dental place is just a total failure. The community care thing is a total failure. And at the end of the day, um, the suffering falls on the veteran. And so, hey, take a second, give me a like, give me a share, and let's talk about this tool. So I built this little tool. I don't know how good it is, but you should be able to. I put a lot of documents in here, and honestly, I'm gonna now that I got Grok 3 going, and I really have since I built this. It's been 2 months, 2.5 months. Really, I've learned a lot about AI, and so I'm really gonna redo this. But you really can come in here and ask this thing questions. And here's the most important part of this, right? You can talk to this thing, right? So if you click this little button here, you can say hello to this thing, right? Hey, good morning, my friend. I want to talk about this AI tool, this Chat GPT thing that I built, to navigate the VA. What can you tell me in a quick 30-second thing to help encourage veterans to use you as a tool?
Good morning, my friend. If you want to encourage veterans to use this tool, here's a quick pitch. This AI-powered tool makes navigating VA benefits simple and stress-free. Whether you're filing a claim, checking eligibility for presumptive conditions, or looking for caregiver support, it breaks down the process into clear, step-by-step guidance. No more digging through paperwork or waiting on hold. Get instant, accurate answers so you can focus on what really matters: your health, your family, and your future. Would you like me to tailor this for a specific audience or situation?
All right, and so you can hit this little mute thing so you can actually talk because it will continue to answer you, and this thing will answer, like dozens and dozens. You can do a follow up question, a follow up question, a follow up question, and what it will, it won't file any paperwork for you, but it will give you steps and tell you exactly how to file it, and then you can actually ask specific questions like, how do I fill out this form, or where do I get this form, and it'll drop you links, and all you have to do is hit the X. It'll take you back to a thread, right, where everything it just said is here in type, right? And then you can come back here again and click links or whatever. You come back here again and start your conversation again, right? And this thing will help you navigate the VA. Honestly, it'll help you do a whole bunch of things in life. There are the regular Chat GPT thing is linked to a lot of stuff on the web, and sometimes it's wrong, right? But when it's something like a GPT that's programmed to specifically look at certain documents. And so I've got about 25 documents uploaded to this thing that are really actual VA documents, and I've linked it to one or two different resources like va.gov and another one that is a document resource thing. So it should be able to find some critical information and find it really quick. You just kind of ask it what you want to know, and it should be able to spit it off. Let's just test it real quick. I want to know about caregiver support. What does the VA offer to help caregivers support these veterans?
The VA offers a range of programs to support caregivers of veterans. Here are some key resources. 1. Program of Comprehensive Assistance for Family Caregivers, PAFC, provides financial stipends, health insurance, mental health support, and caregiver training for those caring for veterans with serious injuries from military service. 2. Program of General Caregiver Support Services, PGCSS, offers education support groups, peer mentoring, and respite care for caregivers of veterans, regardless of service connection.
All right, and so here's what the note again. Boom, it puts it in type what it is, right? And I can go back and I could ask, for specific links to specific pages about this, or I could literally come in here and you could do a Google search and copy that. You do a Google search, right? Or you could copy it and you come down here and be like, paste that in here and be like, tell me more, right? And it will go into an in-depth dive into just that one little thing, right? I didn't even look to see what it was, but you get the idea, right? This thing is extremely helpful. And so I hope you find this a blessing. Honestly, please take a minute, like, share, try to interact with this content because it'll help it, get in front of more people. Repost it if you're on Twitter. I'm really setting this up for Twitter because, X, sorry, Elon, buddy. That's just stuck in the old days. X, rocks. All right, and so honestly, I'd love to see Grok do GPTs because I've really, I don't want to see ChatGPT succeed. and and ultimately, I really love Grok 3 the best, but it does not talk and it doesn't make GPT. So definitely come check this thing out. I'll link to it in the comments below. And I hope you find it a blessing. Please do tell your story. If you're having problems with the VA, let's start a conversation about that, and let's see if we can't make a difference, not just for my father, but for your father, your family, and ultimately, you as the veteran yourself. All right, hey, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. Thank you for your service. Have a great day.